In the 1930s, a wave of enthusiasm swept through Germany, particularly among its youth. Thousands of young German girls, clad in crisp uniforms, marched in precise formations, their voices raised in patriotic hymns and pledges of allegiance to the Führer. This was the League of German Girls, Bund Deutscher Mädel, BDM, an organization that presented itself as a school for future mothers tasked with strengthening the Aryan race. However, beneath the surface of discipline, pride, and unity lay a darker reality of mind manipulation, early pregnancies, and the sinister underpinnings of Nazi ideology. After Germany's devastating defeat in World War I, the country faced economic ruin and widespread poverty. The German mark was virtually worthless, and basic necessities were out of reach for many. It was in this context that the Nazi Party emerged, offering a glimmer of hope to the youth. Summer camps, stylish uniforms, state-provided meals, special lessons, and participation in parades were just some of the attractions that drew young Germans to the Hitler Youth and the League of German Girls. The state-sponsored education within these organizations aimed to cultivate racially and ideologically pure female representatives ready to serve the nation. The League of German Girls was meticulously structured to fulfill its mission of producing future mothers of the Aryan race. Girls aged 10 to 14 were part of the Young Girls League, Jungmädelbund, while those aged 14 to 18 belonged to the League of German Girls. At 17 to 18, many transitioned to the Faith and Beauty, Glaube und Schönheit program, which focused on further refining their roles as ideal Nazi women. In 1936, a law mandated that all German teenagers join either the Hitler Youth or the League of Girls. By 1944, the League had become the largest youth organization in the world, with 4.5 million members, representing at least 82% of young German women between 1933 and 1945. The official goal of the League was to educate girls into loyal companions of ideal Nazis. However, the lack of clear guidelines on what this entailed often left Nazi leaders struggling to define the perfect Aryan woman. Appearance standards were tied to Aryan features, and girls were indoctrinated with the internal and external politics of Nazi Germany, the supreme authority of the Führer, and a readiness to make sacrifices for the nation. The League's primary objective was to mold girls into faithful followers of Nazi ideology. This involved a comprehensive curriculum that extended beyond traditional subjects. Girls were taught to love the great Aryan homeland, to take oaths, and to participate in torchlight processions and sports patriotic parades. Physical education, marching, and mandatory participation in parades were designed to instill discipline and a sense of collective identity. Uniforms were a critical component of this control, stripping girls of individuality and emphasizing conformity. Hygiene was emphasized to an extreme degree, with non-compliance resulting in severe punishments, including public ridicule and reports to the authorities. The League also encouraged girls to spy on their parents, neighbors, and acquaintances, reinforcing the idea that vigilance and loyalty to the state were paramount. Ideological education was the cornerstone of the League's activities. Girls were systematically indoctrinated with the principles of Aryan superiority, the importance of serving the Führer and the nation, and the readiness to make any sacrifice for the greater good. Propaganda permeated every aspect of their lives, from political education lessons to participation in parades and rallies. The League's curriculum was designed to ensure that girls internalize these values, preparing them for their roles as future mothers and citizens. The concept of surrogate motherhood held a place of honor in Nazi Germany. Women, particularly those associated with the SS, were encouraged to conceive children in controlled environments, often with high-ranking party officials. These children were not only intended for immediate adoption, but also as a reserve, leading to the establishment of numerous orphanages across Germany and occupied Europe. Many girls from the League viewed intimate service to party leaders as a noble duty, contributing to the growth of the Aryan race. The Fountain of Life program supported large families with childless individuals taxed to fund the care of families with 4 or more children. The Nazi regime promoted the idea that an Aryan child was valuable, regardless of the circumstances of their birth. Sexual promiscuity, when aligned with the goals of racial purity, was not condemned, but rather seen as a contribution to the nation's future. The Nazi state provided a guide titled 10 Ways to Choose a Good Husband, which omitted any mention of love. Girls were expected to remain virgins until marriage and to choose partners based on their Aryan credentials. Men, however, had more flexibility in their marital choices, as long as they avoided Jewish or Romani women. Remote marriages and posthumous unions with deceased fiancés were recognized to confer the status of war widows and grant pension rights. The ideal age for marriage was set at 18, and SS officers were considered the most desirable husbands. However, marriages required organizational approval, which included a detailed review of the prospective bride's physical attributes. Joint lectures on family building for boys from the Hitler Youth and girls from the League often led to romantic relationships, resulting in early motherhood for many girls. The relentless psychological pressure and indoctrination of serving the Führer and the Aryan man led girls from the League to accept unconventional and often abusive relationships. Polygamy and even marriages to deceased individuals were seen as acceptable. Many girls wrote daily letters to the Führer hoping for a personal connection, though their hopes were invariably unmet. Those who persisted in their admiration could face severe consequences, including institutionalization in psychiatric hospitals. The psychological toll of this environment was profound, leading many girls to become victims of an ideology that demanded their complete devotion and readiness for the most extreme forms of relationships. The constant surveillance and propaganda reinforced a distorted worldview, leaving lasting scars on the lives of these young women. One of the most disturbing aspects of the League's legacy is its involvement in the Nazi terror apparatus. Many girls from the League voluntarily joined the security service, SD, or worked as overseers in concentration camps. These young women, who had been conditioned to see torture and extermination as necessary and righteous, participated in the atrocities of the Holocaust. The biographies of several notorious concentration camp guards reveal their backgrounds in the League of German Girls, highlighting the organization's role in perpetuating the Nazi regime's crimes. The League of German Girls was far more than a simple educational organization. It was a powerful tool for mind manipulation, propaganda, and the preparation of young women for roles in the Nazi terror system. The girls who passed through its ranks often became victims of an ideology that demanded their complete devotion and readiness for the most cruel and abnormal forms of relationships. Their lives were marked by contradictory instructions, constant control, and an excessive focus on sexual issues and childbearing. The legacy of the League of German Girls serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked ideological indoctrination and the profound impact it can have on the lives of those it touches.